If you snore, you are sleeping terribly. Most people would think it's not a big deal. All you're doing is just disturbing everyone else around you, but you are sleeping great. But that's just not true. So why do people snore in the first place? Usually people snore because of some sort of airway obstruction. There's some sort of obstruction that's blocking air from getting into your lungs. And usually this has to do with your tongue and the roof of your mouth. So what happens is people are sleeping and they're usually laying on their back and their mouth is open. And when their mouth is open, their tongue is resting in the back of their mouth. And as your tongue is falling in the back of your mouth, it's also going in the back of your throat. And this is what starts to cut off your breathing. Now, when you start to breathe, you have less room for that air to go through. So your air is kind of fighting to get past your tongue to get into your lungs. But also when your tongue is in this position, the roof of your mouth will start to vibrate. Now, normally your tongue is resting against the roof of your mouth. And this is keeping your tongue away from the back of your throat, and it's allowing air to go in. But now the roof of your mouth is completely exposed. And what happens is anytime air goes past the roof of your mouth, when it's exposed like this, it starts to vibrate. And that vibrating of the roof of your mouth is what causes that snoring sound. Now the issue with this is, it's not just your airway getting obstructed, it could actually get worse. Over time, your tongue could actually continue to fall back and go completely in the back of your throat and completely cut off your breathing. And this is what causes sleep apnea. And this is what causes people to wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air. So really when you say you want to stop snoring, you want to stop this obstruction that's in your airway so that you can breathe normally when you're sleeping. So one of the simplest ways you can do this is to start taping your mouth shut before you go to sleep. This will allow you to start breathing through your nose instead of your mouth, and this will also keep your tongue resting against the roof of your mouth. Now, I'm not telling you to use like a duct tape or anything super strong like that. They actually have tape that's specifically designed for your skin and even designed for your mouth. These tapes are a lot softer and they're a lot more gentle to the skin, and most of them don't really force your mouth to be shut. They kind of just resist your lips from being open, but just that little bit of resistance there will help you breathe through your nose instead of your mouth. Now, some of you might say that I have a lot of allergies or a ton of congestion, and there's no way I can start breathing through my nose, and there's no way I can tape my mouth shut before I go to sleep. Well, luckily for you, I made another video on a simple exercise you can do to start opening up your nose, especially when you have allergies or congestion like that. So I'm putting a link to that video in the description below. Another thing you can start doing to help opening up your airway is to use a nasal dilator strip. Again, this is really simple, and it's just a little piece of tape that's designed to go over your nose, and all it's doing is just opening up your nose a little bit and allowing more air to go through your nose and get into your lungs. Now, there could be a lot of other things that's causing this obstruction in your airway and contributing to this snoring. For example, you could have really large tonsils and adenoids, you could have a really large tongue, or just have a really tiny mouth. You could also have a deviated septum, which makes it really hard to breathe through your nose properly. All of these things could be contributing to air that's just trying to get into your lungs, but it's getting blocked. And they could also be contributing to your snoring. So really the issue isn't just the snoring. The snoring is just one minor part of it, where it's just super annoying and everyone around you is just gonna hate you. But the real issue is your airway is getting obstructed, and you're having a limited amount of oxygen that's going into your lungs. And what newer studies are showing is that this limited air from getting into your lungs is what eventually contributes to sleep apnea. Because what happens is initially your body can kind of fix these minor problems on its own, but over the years, your body kind of takes a toll, and it causes a lot more inflammation and a lot more stress throughout your body, and this will eventually lead to a more disease, which is called sleep apnea. So something else you can do is you might want to go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, or an ENT, and just get your airway evaluated. Have them check your tonsils, your adenoids, and your whole airway and see if there's any sort of deviation or something that could be done to help improve your airway. But regardless, you can definitely start with the simple stuff, which is taping your mouth shut when you're sleeping and also using one of those nasal strips to help keep your nose open. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked that video, and if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below. I will see you in the next video.